What's up, motherfucker? Okay, here we go. Actually, I forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh, I want to talk shit on the Marine Corps. Duh. Check mic, check mic, check mic. Woo! There we go. Hey, square up, son. Square your ass up. So, HQMC, you ready? Marine Corps is just getting really disgusting with this political correctness. And I've been thinking about, where's this fucking shit coming from? Why are our generals entertaining the idea of an integrated boot camp? Like fully integrated at the platoon level. Why are they even giving that a moment of consideration to the senators and congressmen who are asking them to do this? They're not doing it because the right decision is to integrate boot camp at the platoon level. No. They're doing it just because they want to make sure they have their job options open for the rest of their lives. They don't want to be the general that got canned. They're afraid of going down like that. Like, this is the end for me. Like some of these generals, they want to keep going. This is their career and their life. They're pretty committed people to get to that level, even if you don't respect them or whatever. Like, to get to general, you got something. Even if it's just really good discipline with your politics. It's like really good discipline. So a lot of them want to keep going after their tour as fucking the commandant. But they're worried that if they don't appease these congressmen and women, they're done. You're not. You're absolutely not done. You actually have unbelievable fucking job options open to you for the rest of your life. Like, even if you did some really bad shit, there are still hundreds of companies that will hire you because you have skills that they fucking need. But that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about just not appeasing some fucking assholes in our government. Some ignorant politicians. So one of them is a chick. I think the general was like, we're already integrated to some degree. And the chick is like, I don't remember if senator or congresswoman. She's like, I don't think that is fully integrated for us to get rid of the stigmas against women that exist in the military. It was something like that. It was like, there's really not equality. And the men are still treating the women poorly. And the answer is to integrate at the platoon level in boot camp. She said, so that they earn a mutual respect for each other. Like a fucking first introduction to the military. How could they possibly have a mutual respect for each other when one of them has a lower standard? How does that not compute into any human brain? It's scary. That level of ignorance is scary. For our generals to not fight that battle head on and to take a stand for the success of their Marine Corps, their military, the fact that they are not taking a stand, that loses respect amongst the troops. It absolutely does. And the stand that I am specifically referring to is one standard. It's like, if you want equality, then there has to be an equal standard. There's no other way around it. You don't have equality and then have a lower standard. It's like they say there's no male Marines, there's no female Marines, there's no black Marines, there's no white Marines. That was an acorn dropping on my roof. It scares me all the fucking time. So, pine cone, acorn. It was definitely a giant motherfucking pine cone that, like, when I reverse over it out my driveway, my car's like, you hear this loud crunching sound. It's like I'm running over a head. Anyways, so where were we? General, how they're not taking a stand? Equal standard. That's right. Equal motherfucking standard. Can you imagine how much more respect male Marines would have for female Marines if there was an equal standard? Could you just try and close your eyes and envision what that would be like? It's a beautiful vision I have. It really is. It reminds me of Starship Troopers, where the chicks are right there with the dudes in the grunt units on the front lines. Like that vision right there, that's what I think these senators and congresswomen want. Although actually, no, they probably never even like developed a vision for that. Maybe it's G.I. Jane. I don't know what the fuck their vision is. But that vision doesn't become reality when one of the two has a lower standard for the same title. How does that compute? I mean, this is typical government shit. Like, government is just so pathetic on so many levels. As a bureaucracy, as a well-run organization, it's really, really bad. And everyone who's ever worked for the government knows it. People sitting in the government right now in their cubicles are like, yep. The standard's got to be equal, right? Now, why am I even bothering wasting my time with saying something like that, even though it's so unrealistic? I really do want better for women in the military, because I hear about, through my own network of people who I know, of women who were sexually assaulted in the military. Since I got out of the military and actually started interacting with female service members, because I was in the infantry, there was not a single sexual assault in my entire battalion while I was there. And I'm not talking about of like a female on our side of base, on our camp. I mean, just in general. Maybe it happened and I didn't hear about it, but I never heard of a single one. Right? So that wasn't the thing. Sexual assault and misogyny and all the treatment of it never really crossed our minds, because we were at Camp San Mateo. There's no women up there. Infantryman's paradise is what we called it. So it's no understanding of women in the service. Getting out of the service, I then had interactions with women in the military through the nonprofit, through Reverend Warriors, going to all the Silkies hikes and just talking and making friends. And a lot of the volunteers for our organization, like the coordinators who step up and hosted hikes, them hearing about sexual assaults, and then dating female Marines just in San Diego. Every one of them has been sexually assaulted, and like some of them multiple times. And every girl they know was sexually assaulted. And it's any degree from just like a fucking ass grab to like held down, violent rape, like horrible shit. So I start hearing about this, and it's just like the suicide thing. When I was in the military, I didn't give a fuck about the veteran community. That didn't exist as a thing to me. It never even fucking really crossed my mind while I was in, especially not in a deploying grunt unit. After my buddy smoked himself, then I'm like, oh no, second guy I knew smoked himself. The other guy I didn't really know. He was just friends with a really good friend of mine. He was the first one, and then not long after was my buddy. And then I'm like, what's going on here? And, I start learning about suicide. Like, wow, this is a big fucking thing, and it starts becoming an important thing to me. Before then, it wasn't. Same thing with sexual assault. No understanding of it. No concept of what misogyny is. I always thought that nobody hates women. Get the fuck out of here. We don't hate women. You get fucking crazy. And like rape culture, I was like, get the fuck out of here, rape culture. I'm a football player, just full on jock, frat boy, Marine. And never once did I ever hear a guy, like, was I anywhere near somebody I knew in a lot of big circles who had ever sexually assaulted a woman or raped a woman. I didn't even know any of that. But then I start actually listening, talking to women about their military experiences. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. You guys go through that? What? And I know that all the men that have misogynistic tendencies who are listening, just like, that's bullshit. That's not my experience with them. They were fucking lying sluts and blah, blah, blah. And that's a really, really shitty mindset. But guys will defend that so hard. Defend the negative perception of women. Why you gotta fucking treat them like shit. Gotta keep these bitches down. That's a thing that exists in dude culture, and especially military. And I don't know that I ever truly felt that way. Actually, I know I never truly felt that way. But the way I talked might have sounded like that back when I was younger. It's weird because I was raised by unbelievable women. My perception of women was always really fucking high. My mother was a tomboy. My mom was still getting into fist fights until I was like, my last one was like, her last one was when I was 3. So like my perception of women has always been like just strong fucking people. Grandma, mom, Aunt Marina, Aunt Anne Marie, Beth, and just cousins, everybody. I'll be honest though, my perception of women changed when I moved to San Diego. Southern California in general has this kind of like ditzy culture thing. It's really bad. A lot of trophyage going on. I was working in daycare when I was in college. This guy comes in to pick up his kids. His wife had dropped the kids off earlier. His wife was drop dead gorgeous. This is at this really wealthy place called Pacific Athletic Club. She's drop dead gorgeous, dropped the kids off. Father comes to get them later, and he's signing in. And he's like, "See my wife earlier?" And I was like, "Yes, I did. Very nice. Very nice lady." And he was like, "Yeah, I married her for her brains." And he walked off, and I was like, I remember telling my dad that. Because I was like shocked that a man would ever talk about his wife that way. And at the time, I was fucking, 23. No, I'm sorry, I was 21. And I tell my dad, "You are not going to believe this shit. This is what happened." And my dad was shocked. Like, wow, how do men talk about their wives like that? But in the military, that's the conversation. Well, not that they're dumb, but the rhetoric about women, just in military culture in general, it's just really shitty. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that? It's a general need for us to overcompensate for our insecurities because we as men are not fucking used to accepting our own insecurities. We are not. As soon as we feel insecure, we need somebody to be mad at. Maybe I'm just projecting me onto all of you, onto all men. Yeah, it all started after some chicks hurt my feelings. That's when it did. And my response to that was, fuck bitches. Fuck all bitches. Like, fuck you to all of them, and I'm gonna fuck all of you. That was what I thought after I was hurt. Didn't exist before then. How do we get dudes to acknowledge that? That's why we do it. It's insecurity. Making us feel insecure. It's like they are having power over us. I remember thinking that because I used to be so shy and timid and just like, I had women up on a high pedestal. And like talking to girls was the scariest thing in the world for me. Like I thought about them all the time. I just fucking just loved them. Like just the sight of them and the smell of them, they're just beautiful fucking things. If they're beautiful. I'm just kidding. Everyone is beautiful. So, anyways, I just loved them and I wanted them to love me back. That's what I wanted. I wanted them to love me back. And most of the time they didn't. And I got more and more nervous about approaching girls because I was so afraid of the rejection. It was so painful. Oh my God. That's right. God, I'm processing so much right now. This is so great. Who needs a therapist, right? You can just do this. Let's get high and talk to a camera and think you're talking to an audience. It's amazing. I feel better. So, experiencing rejection, time after time, built up this resentment. And so when I got to, I want to say late high school, I hadn't really acknowledged any resentment. And I don't remember any sort of terrible thoughts at that age. I don't. But at some point, towards the into high school, this girl we're friends to this day. We made up years ago. But she's a girl I was dating who, we weren't fucking serious at all. Like the stupidest thing. But I caught her making out with some other dude at school. And I was all fucking swelled up on him and shit. He apologized. I would like to be friends with him too, because he's actually really cool about that. If I really was serious, I would have just started swinging. That's why. Like I didn't start swinging. And well, she was like tugging on to me like, "Stop, don't, Danny, don't. If I really wanted to, I could have been like, dodged and then run and pounced. But I didn't. So like, I don't get any credit for that shit. I was just swelling up like a bitch. Like an insecure little bitch. That's what that was. And so That I remember building some resentment into high school, and then coming into college. This chick, she's a super hot sorority chick, and she was like from Orange County, well-off family and shit. And I really liked her, and it was the first chick that I like really liked. She's just an asshole. She was just like, she really wanted my friend, my frat bro Blake. He's my little brother. Kidwell, what up, dog? Dude, Kidwell, we got to get you acting. Kidwell, oh, she wanted my buddy Kidwell, and she like said something like, "You want to make out?" or something like that. And he was like, "Aren't you seeing Danny? Like, should you be doing that?" And she was like, I think she was just like, "I'm just kidding," but she meant it. She wanted to make out with him. He's so beautiful. I do. So I understand. Anyways, that hurt. And then afterwards, she just kind of did the not talking to me thing, kind of ghosted me. And I'm, texting her like a little bitch. And then after that, I was like, fuck bitches. Fuck bitches. 1, 2, 3, fuck pussy. And I was like, yeah. It's just like, I respond to all pain, tragedy, everything with comedy and energy. So it's like, fuck pussy on 3. 1, 2, 3, fuck pussy. I used to do that shit. Like before parties. Jesus fuck. No wonder. And that was my behavior then. And ever since then, then another girl I dated. No names. Oh my God. We dated for a while. We broke up. We were still talking. She was seeing my roommate. And like both him and her were manipulating the fuck out of me. And he was really good. He was like, he used to tell me, he used to be so proud of his manipulations. So proud of them. Like his girlfriend caught him cheating when he went off to boot camp. And so someone gave him the idea to just call her talking about all his problems. Be like, babe, I really need you right now. Like I'm really going through a lot and blah, 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 blah. And she just fucking ended up forgetting, about all the cheating that he did on her that she found out about and had compassion for him. And he was like so proud of that. He's so proud of his manipulations. And he did it to me. Go figure, right? I figured, he'd never do it to me. That stuff he does to all those other people, he would never do it to me. Oops. So, lesson learned. And that pain from the two of them doing that behind my back for so long. His cell phone, he had a special ring for her. And it was, I'll keep you my dirty little secret, dirty little secret. That song was her ring. And that shit excited him. He got off on that. Living on the edge. And I've known fucking buddies in the Marine Corps do the same thing. It's just like, bro, like that should never be acceptable. But after like 23, definitely not acceptable. Come on. And guys are doing it like their whole lives. Their entire lives. It's like, what are you doing, dude? How did you not get that that asshole shit out of your system younger? So, anyway, what the fuck are we talking about? There is some shit. I'm talking to women now. There is a lot of fucking terrible shit that goes on. And all of that stuff, that is misogyny. It's just this desire. It's this perception of women as the lesser. So even if it's not hate, because actually thinking back, I think I did hate to them for a little bit. Sounds like it. But I'm saying it out loud. I don't remember feeling hate, but I just remember being, fuck them. So there's something there. But then when I was in the military, I didn't have that hatred. I left my system. And I still was not, I didn't perceive them as equals. I still perceived women as the lesser. So I still perceived them as a lesser, but I didn't hate them. And so when I heard misogyny, hatred of women, I'm like, nobody hates women. Get the fuck out of here. No, but we did just perceive them as the lesser, which makes it easier to treat them like shit. Right? What do we do to our enemies in the military? We dehumanize them. They're beneath us. They're our enemy. They're a lesser form of human life than us. Same way white people used to view black people. They're lesser than us. Same way a lot of straight people view gay people. They're lesser. Same way a lot of men view women. They are the lesser. That is misogyny. And a rape culture, if I were to try and, meet you guys in the middle here, rape culture is this general perception, probably with some hatred, aimed towards women, that makes it easier for the predators who are out there, because not all men are predators, ladies, they're not. There are a lot of men who maybe they feel this resentment and they're overcoming for insecurities and they treat women like shit, but they don't all sexually assault. In any case, within this culture that perceives them as a lesser, it's easier for the few predators who actually do it to get away with it. That I think is what we're talking about with rape culture. So I acknowledge that there's still bad shit there that exists. I don't want that there. I don't like that. That's a horrible, horrible thing for humanity, for people. Like, why would you ever want that to happen to people? You know, like, no, it's a shitty thing. And if you do want that to happen to people, that's evil. And Americans are not that. So if you have that evil in your heart, get out. Go to Canada. They could use a little bit of that. Fucking even out the population up there. Too nice. Goddamn Canadians. You're too nice. So we'll send some of our evil shitbags your way. Don't want to send them to Mexico. There's no fucking evil down there. So we have this poor culture that us men have to acknowledge it. And at the same time, you guys need to meet us in the fucking middle and equalize the standard. It's not for us, that is for you. Equalize the fucking standard. If that means there are less women in the services, so be it. That's the only downside to this whole fucking equal standard thing, is that there are fewer women. But why would that be a bad thing? Because Congress and Senate has some magical number quota that they think has to be met for some reason? They're going to put that number at the front of something at the United Nations conference, like, we've got this many women. Or is it just because that individual senator or congresswoman wants her career branded by leading changes like this, right? How many of them actually thought, yeah, would this be really fucking good for the military? None of them. All they thought was, this is going to brand my political career. And our fucking generals need to step the fuck up and call that out. The worst that'll happen is you'll be fired. But guess what? You'll have the respect of the Marine Corps forever. Your legacy as a fucking Marine will be cemented. That's an act of courage that no fucking run to a machine gun nest or through a minefield will ever fucking hop on a grenade. It'll never fucking match up. Kyle, sorry, maybe yo shit matches up. My bust. Yo shit matches up. Everybody else, except for all the alive ones. The alive guys, yo shit matches up. All the dead ones, nah, your shit's weak. Sorry, mad. Much love. So that's it. Our generals need to step the fuck up and call that out and say, no, this is not good for our military. This is not good for our Marine Corps. Let me, the person running this organization, tell you what I think is best for the success of the Marine Corps and therefore the safety of the nation. Let me tell you what I think is best, because I've been doing this fucking thing. And lay it the fuck down. I think we need an equal standard across the board. And I understand that the numbers of women getting in will go down. But the statement that will be made by an equal standard to men and women is more powerful than anything we've ever said. From now on, we accept that you must be equal to get into this. That has to happen. We have to make that statement. Men are never going to perceive women as equals in the military until there's an equal standard. And you shouldn't expect them to, because the standard is not equal. How is nobody talking about this? It's so weird to me. I'm really not that smart. I've achieved success through ethic and creativity. Just basic common sense, really. How can you demand equality and expect equality when there's not an equal standard? You just can't. Can't. Tried. Can't. Come on, guys. Get it together.